Thanks for coming back with us here on the pregame. John Manuel is an editor-in-chief at Baseball America. He joins us now. And, John, I know you cover the entire draft, but we're going to ask you about the Yankee portion of the draft. Let's start with the first player they picked, high school outfielder from Southern California, Blake Rutherford. What's your assessment of Rutherford as a player?
You know, Jack, he had a chance at the start of the year to go #1 overall. He was in that mix, so I think the Yankees may have gotten some real good value here at 18, provided, of course, they signed Blake Rutherford. He's a left-handed hitter with a really nice swing. He's got a chance to have above-average power. And the comparisons I've heard from scouts on this player range from, like, Jim Edmonds to Alex Gordon. He's got physicality, left-handed swing. He's in the zone a long time. I think he's going to wind up probably on a corner. I think that's where the Alex Gordon comparisons come in, an athletic left fielder with above-average hitting ability. Well,
Damon Oppenheimer, who runs the draft for the Yankees, said he is optimistic about signing Rutherford, but until you actually have that name on the dotted line, you're always wondering. Let me go back to something that you said about the fact that he could have gone higher in the draft. Why do you think he fell to the Yankees at 18?
You know, he pressed a bit early in the spring. He was trying a little bit too hard to hit for power. He did that even last summer with the U.S. Junior National Team. You know, he ended up batting 9th for the Junior National Team, but that was ended up being by design, where they kind of tried to hide him late in the lineup, and he hit a grand slam in the key game against Japan, led the team in RBI. So this guy's risen to the occasion, and late in the spring, he hit a 97-mile-an-hour fastball by one of the top prospects for next year's draft, Greene, for a home run, and that kind of reestablished him as a top 10 guy because teams just hadn't seen the power this spring, and he showed up with it late. I think that reestablished him as a high pick.
After Rutherford, a 19-year-old high school outfielder, the Yankees moved into the college ranks, and they picked a second baseman from Louisville, Nick Solak. This guy's an offense-first second baseman. He's actually says he patterned himself after Ian Kinsler. What kind of pick did the Yankees go with there?
You know, I love this pick because, A, Solak will be signable. B, he'll probably come in under slot, help you save money to sign Rutherford. And C, he categorized himself well. He is an athletic second baseman and an offensive second baseman. The defense can be rough for Nick Solak. He might wind up like a Ryan Rayburn or even a Rob Refsnyder kind of player to put in the Yankees milieu, because he's really more of a bat-first, right-handed bat guy, and he might wind up in left field. One thing he really does well is run the bases aggressively. He's probably an average or above-average runner, but he can steal a bag, and he really goes first to third very well.
John, you cover the draft, and you know sometimes team takes chances. I want to talk about a chance that the Yankees took in the later rounds. 29th round, they pick a high school pitcher, Beau Weiss, the son of Walt Weiss, the Colorado Rockies manager. Now, this is a kid who's already said he's committed to going to Carolina. What do you think the chances are of the Yankees changing his mind and actually signing him?
You know, Jack, I think there actually is a chance. I happen to do Carolina's games on TV here locally in North Carolina, and North Carolina's already loaded with pitching, and they have a huge recruiting class of more pitchers. So one of those guys is not going to go to school. One of those guys is going to look at it and say, wait a minute, when am I going to ever pitch when I get to Chapel Hill? So obviously Beau has family ties. His dad, Walt, went to UNC. He's got a catcher, Wyatt Cross, who he played with in high school, who is at North Carolina now. So there are some ties for him. But I do think the Yankees have an outside chance, especially if they save some money in those first 10 rounds. And they're already doing that with picks 4 through 10 already signed, and the Yankees have saved $1 million with those players under their bonus pool.
I'm glad you brought that up because, as you said, that could help the Yankees with how they go and try and sign other guys. Last question before we let you go. I know you file scouting reports on hundreds of players, but in this year's draft, give me one storyline or one player that really jumped out at you and was a bit of a surprise.
You know, the big guy, I just wrote a column about him today, actually, this morning for the next issue of Baseball America, was Mitchell White. Just because Mitchell White wasn't on the radar at all coming into the year. He was a redshirt sophomore at Santa Clara, and he wound up going in the second round of the Dodgers. And by the end of the year, this guy was 91 and 95, touching a 7, 4 pitches for strikes. I think the Dodgers may have gotten a real bargain on him in the second round, but those are the stories that just always reach out to me, Jack, because the guys who weren't on the radar and burst onto the scene, like last year with Andrew Benintendi for the Red Sox. At the beginning of the year, there were teams that weren't even sure he was eligible. He wound up College Player of the Year, and now he's already in Double A a year later. So guys like that who jump on the radar, like Mitchell White, those are the guys who kind of catch my fancy.
Well, he's caught my fancy now, too, because I'm going to keep an eye on him, too. John, we really appreciate you joining us. Thanks for the time.
Thanks, Jack.